is that if you see someone that's doing it the way that you want to do, it's all right to go ask, sir, would you be my mentor?
Now, the millennials, we're blending it. We're blending traditional, digital, and we're also blending social media marketing.
So, because everybody loves Charles, so we're in his backyards, and we want to thank Charles and the Arlington Black Chamber for having Nathan and I. And as you saw on the flyer, I've been in commercial real estate for 36 years. So I'm kind of the baby boomer. I'm also the veteran too, as far as commercial real estate. And Nathan has just been with me about just under 4 months. And he comes with an extensive background, and we're going to kind of talk about my history and how I got here. Nathan's going to tell you a little bit about his history, and then we're going to talk about the difference between the difference of age, of him being a millennial and me being a veteran of commercial real estate. We're going to touch on entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about social media and technology. We're going to also talk about mentorship, the importance of it. And hopefully at the end of the day that you leave here with some information that's beneficial to your company and makes your business a better place to do business. We are videotaping this so that we can show it on Jim Austin Online, on our network, and for sure. But as I said, I'm Jim Austin, and I have to recognize my queen. Where'd she go? Oh, there, she's over there. This is my wife, Gloria Austin, and we've been married 20 years, August the 9th, so I will not forget that date. But she's the executive director of the Multicultural Western Heritage Museum and the co-founder with myself, and we bought some literature on that. But I grew up, born in North Carolina. My mom moved us to New Jersey, where my dad had 8 sisters, and my mom was kind of the leader of our household. She's the one that kept her foot on my throat to make sure that I did the right thing. And I was a blessing to have her and my dad. But we moved to New Jersey. But being out of North Carolina, my mom's brother was a unbelievable businessman in North Carolina. He was a bail bondsman, he was a farmer, businessman, but very well respected. So every summer I would go back and stay with my cousin Bubba during the summer, because Uncle Bernard didn't let you just go and lay around. Every morning I had to get up at 5 o'clock, and I remember him coming in and whistle. We had to go down and work in the grocery store. We had to plow the fields, the soybeans and all, because he was a farmer, and we also worked in his grocery store. So I did not realize that that was a connection for me for my entrepreneurship. I didn't know that was my mentor. So every summer, as soon as I got out of school, I would be in North Carolina for approximately 6 years. But growing up in New Jersey, I graduated from Bloomfield High, decided to go to Howard University, the Black Mecca. And there I studied business and marketing. So upon graduating, I was president of the student body, was somewhat highly recruited, and decided to go to work for American Express. And I came to Texas. That's what brought me to Texas 40 years ago. I came here as the district sales manager after traveling all over the world studying American Express. So it gave me a good foundation as an entrepreneur. But greatest job in the world, 5 years. I decided I wanted more, and I did not want to leave Fort Worth, so I resigned and I got into commercial real estate. That was a very hard decision, to leave that cushion of a good paycheck and being the executive director, being the district manager, but I did it because I didn't want to leave. And I got mentored by a gentleman named Sam McCall. He took me under his wing for 2 years and taught me commercial real estate. He had been doing it for about 25 years. So I was lucked out. Soon as I did 2 years, I passed the broker's test. I hung my shingle out 36 years ago to be a commercial real estate broker. And I'll talk a little bit about that, being an entrepreneur and what that meant to me, being a baby boomer. So I'm going to stop at that point right now, and I want to introduce my associate, Nathan Peoples. He has his own show on Jim Austin Online, and he's head of technology, and he's now the president of Jim Austin Online and helping develop that and take it to the next level. So I'm very proud of him. He has a very extensive background, so I'm going to let him talk right now.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Nathan Peoples, and yes, I am the newly elected president of Jim Austin Online, so I'm so ecstatic about that. So a little history about myself. First, I come from a military family, so the discipline is real with me, okay? That's why I arrived 30 minutes early. It's like, make sure that I am on time by being early. So, I was born in Virginia. I moved to Italy, stayed there for a long time. Then after Italy, I moved to Japan. Stayed there for a long time. I love sushi and all the fun stuff and culture about it. That's why I am the way that I am today. So after Japan, we moved here to Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, stayed here, I'm still here today. And my mom said, I'm going to retire here, so plant your seed here and have fun. And I said, okay, so that's what I did. So that's my travel history. My work history for that is I started my actual career as an entrepreneur. My mentor before Mr. Austin, her name was Star Crenshaw. And she asked me, Nate, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to start my own business, but I'm afraid to start. And she said, well, that's not good enough. You got to go out there and do it. You got to just have that push, force, and do it. You got to fail forward, and you'll learn along the way. That's how you get to success. You got to fail forward. And I said, okay, I'll try my best. And that worked out for me, and I actually was able to get an internship at the T from those efforts, because I used to be able to build, well, I still know how to rebuild computers. I'm a computer science guy, heavy IT, all these things. And I had an internship the first year. They liked me so much because I provided more value than what they were paying me that they had me come back. They always provide value, so they know. Yeah, the president, or the vice president, Tony Johnson,
yes.
He gave me the opportunity. He said, Nate, I want you to come back next year as an intern. And I said, okay. So I came back, provided even more value. So the director of IT at that time said, Nathan, I want to give you an opportunity of a lifetime to be an IT project manager at your age. At 19, that's unheard of. So he gave me that position, and that just took off from there. So that's my quick little IT background. So after being a project manager for 6 months, I went to work at Merrill Lynch. I was a wealth management intern for the summer, and that was fun. Figured out I didn't like to be in wealth management and finance. That wasn't my cup of tea. So I went back to IT, and I got a job as a director of technology for a veteran organization out of DC. So that's what I'm still doing now, and that's why it's super heavy IT. Whatever I can do for you. So director of IT for Women Veterans United Incorporated, or Committee Incorporated. So for women vets out there, that's what I do. And then I have my own tech business as well called People's Choice Technology with yours truly, Nathan Peoples. And it's IT for real estate agents like myself. I targeted my own niche because I found what we didn't have. So that's my work history. But besides that, I was also in residential real estate as of last year, because on the flyer it said 24 months, right? Where I was in real estate for, about a year. I was the top producing agent at Coldwell Banker, and I was also the youngest. And I was selling luxury $1 million properties left and right. And I got lucky. I sold one house, 1.6 million in 22 days. They were like, who in the heck can do that? We can hire this man. So they hired me all in that neighborhood, and it just flowed on from there. So after a while, I got tired of that. I said, I want to do something bigger and better. So I reached out to the pinnacle guys in real estate, who was Robert Gleason, who's the president of the Greater Fort Worth Association of Realtors, and I said, I want to do commercial. Show me who's the person to know. And he said, Jim what's Jim's last name? Jim
Parr.
Jim Parr, who teaches all the commercial agents about how to be a commercial real estate agent. And I said, Mr. Parr, who's the best person for me? He went down a list, and he mentioned Mr. Austin's name. And I said, wait a minute, stop. I know this man. I job shadowed him 3 years ago from my old mentor. So I said, okay, I want to see what Mr. Austin's all about. Because he told me, when you're ready to join the A-team, you let me know. And I said, okay. Went to him, called him 4 days straight. 4 days straight, like Les Brown, you gotta be hungry, okay? So I called him 4 days straight, got a call back, met with him, and he said, above all else, what do you want from me? And I said, I want mentorship. Above everything that you can teach me, I want mentorship. And I've been having fun with you ever since.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's it for me, all right, my little history and introduction.
Well, and that's a true story. I mean, he. No, that's not a business story. I mean, that's just how it happened. And he did shadow me for 1 day about 3 years ago, and lost him and came back. And I said, there's something special in this young man that everywhere we go, it seems like someone knows him. So he's left a tremendous path. He's also worked over at the Potter's House in their IT department, and he's also worked at Tarrant County College. So he has an extensive background of knowledge. So when he came aboard, Jim Austin Online has been something that my wife knows that has kind of been a hobby for me. You know, we had not thought about monetizing it, and I created it to cross-market my 10 companies at that time. I felt that if somebody wanted to go roller skating or rent a self-storage or go to a barbecue restaurant, we could cross-market that. And then what happened is one of my interns said, hey, Mr. Austin, we can sell advertising. And that's how it kicked off. So right now, as we're taking it to the next level, to turn it into a multi-million-dollar social media conscious network that will let you know what's going on in the Metroplex. We have a newsletter, we have a website, we have a radio station. We also are creating a television station and a group of type ways for you to help you grow your business. But some of the things that we're going to talk about today is just the financing. Going into business. Very important that we get into business and we don't take care of our finances. So that's the first thing that you need to do, is make sure that if you're starting a new business or you have a business, that your finances in place. Whether it's your savings, whether it's your family, that's the most important thing. And to make sure you have a good bookkeeper. You know, it took me a while to learn. I've been in business for 36 years. And it took me a while to realize that I needed to have a CPA, because my bookkeeper came to me and he said, Jim, you're too big. I can't do you anymore. And that's when I went out and got me a CPA, because that's very important. You have to know what's coming in before you go out and spend it. You know, so that is so important. And then if you're in business, find something that you enjoy. One thing about my life, I get up every day excited about going to work because I enjoy meeting people. And when I left American Express, that was a good salary, benefits, and I was known as Mr. American Express back then. But when I came to Fort Worth, I made sure I got out and met everybody. So everybody, that's why you say, you know, most people have heard about me and have met me at some point. So it's about getting out. So today, I want you to take advantage of today. Make sure today that you leave here meeting 5 new people. Go up and introduce yourself, and it's all right to be at a restaurant and see somebody new. But today, take advantage of this opportunity that Charles Jackson and the Arlington Black Chamber has set up. Because we at Jim Austin Online, we belong to 8 chambers. And I get very excited when I'm around Charles, as all of us do, because he is quite an unusual gentleman in knowing how to make folks respond to doing business. So one of the things is when you're networking and getting out, be the first one. Like Nathan said, he always arrives a half an hour. He's always on time. But when you get there, make sure you start meeting people and finding out who's making things happen. When the program is over, be the first one to the front of the room. Getting up there, shaking someone's hand, getting a business card, letting them know that whether you enjoyed it or not, you always enjoy it, you know. So when we're through, come up and tell Nathan you enjoyed it, whether you did or not. That's important in creating a relationship, getting a business card, and when you get up that next day, send them an email or a little note. That is so impactful. One of the things that I did, I was on the board of Harris Hospital, you know, the Texas Health Resources. And it basically happened because when I met Barkley Burdan, I sent him a card saying, "So nice to meet you." And then I got a call about a week later asking me to serve on their board and their foundation. So if you show that spirit of communications and appreciation, it goes a long way. If someone does something nice for you, always send a thank you card back to them. One of the things that was different when I was early in business is how you got the word out was through flyers, radio, television. That's how I got to do business. You know, I'm the flyer king. I got 5 of them up here right now. So when you leave here today, you're going to have a flyer or something that you can post on the refrigerator. And remember, because we're just having fun over at the Austin Company. And one of the things that we promote, I always have an intern in my office, either from TCU, TCC, Texas Wesleyan, UTA. We always grab an intern because that's so important to give back, to let them come and work in your business. And a lot of times, if you get a sophomore or junior, they know the latest and greatest as far as business, whatever your business is, and they're very economical to hire. You can usually get them for $8 or $10 an hour, and then when that student graduates, he's going to make $40 or $50 an hour. So you do the math because they know the latest and greatest technology. I talked about radio, knowledge. Be knowledgeable about your product. When you're selling, whatever you're selling, you have to be knowledgeable. But most times people buy from you because they like you. That's the element of favor. You know, that is favor. It's just that they do business with you. Huh?
I said favor's not fair.
Not right. Favor's not fair. And you know, that being knowledgeable about your business, and we all know about social media. How many of you in here have a Facebook page? My wife is, you got a Facebook? I guess she hasn't friended me. So Facebook is so economical to advertise and promote. You know, and I have people come up to me all the time. So you were at the Earth, Wind, and Fire show the other night. Yes. Yeah, I was there, you know, and we were so fortunate to get backstage and meet the team and take pictures and post it on Facebook, you know. So that was good. And me and Nathan are real key in doing Facebook Live. So we enjoy that because people enjoy hearing about what's going on. Let's see, make sure I get it all. And then partnerships. Don't be afraid to do a partnership. You know, if you're in business and you can do a partnership, always open. If you find somebody that's doing that's what people do. They, you know, they bring in their assets together, you know, but make sure you do that. And then barter. We're the king of barter. You know, you got something you want to sell, we got something we can barter with it. Right. So, you know, that's a key. because every dollar is saved is a dollar earned. You know, my motto is the harder I work, the luckier I am. And it really turns out to be that way. You know, so hard work always finds you a good mate. Gloria Austin is my mate. I love her to death, and she's always there in my corner standing behind me. That is so important, to be able to go home and someone to be happy that you're home. When I leave in the morning, be safe, take care of yourself. And it's always a kiss when we leave each other and when we greet each other. So that is so important. We have 5 kids together, and it's a good marriage. And yeah, August 9th, honey. So I'm going to stop right now, but the master, you know, Nathan Peoples, has really excited me about his knowledge of IT and taking Jim Austin Online to the next level. That my wife said, you know, when are you going to stop that hobby and get you a real job? But commercial real estate is my real job. It pays the bills, but we're having a lot of fun for sure. So I'm going to turn it over to Nathan right now and let him talk to you about some points that are important. And we'll come back together and kind of talk about a few things, and then we'll have question and answer. And for sure, you ready?
As I ever be. So, when Mr. Austin started, he mentioned financing and the importance of financing, right? It's very important. So, I'm going to pick on you today. When you first started,
yes, sir.
When you were my age, how did you receive financing?
Well, you know, the thing with me, I've had a job since I was 12 years old. When I was in New Jersey, I shoveled snow in the winter, and I cut grass in the summer. So I've always had my money, you know, so I bought my own first car. And even when I was at Howard University, I worked for Xerox, IBM, as an intern. So I've always had a job, but when I started my business, I had received my retirement, not my retirement, from my, stock, SEF, yes. I was able to get a check from American Express, about $11,000, $12,000. So that seeded me, and I opened my first real estate office in the basement of Walter Cook's law firm. He had a little 2-man office down there. I got me a receptionist, and we just started selling real estate, and I've never looked back. So, you know, you have to either get it from a family or start putting it away.
And you heard that. Pretty much you have to save your money back when you started.
Yes.
And in today's time, it's much different. It's so easy to get funding and financing for your business. You can start with zero and get rich. It's very simple. You have what? Like anybody can start a business. You have GoFundMe, you have Angel Investor, all these things and people where they'll give you money to start your business. How many people would love if I told you, I'm going to give you money to start your business and you don't have to pay me a dime?
Yeah.
That's how it is now. Back then, you had to save up your money to be effective. Still, you have to do that now, but you have people who are willing to see your vision and to give you money to start it.
Yes.
So, and like that's the interesting thing about being an entrepreneur now, is that you can do that.
Yes.
Back then, you couldn't do that.
No.
Like unless you have family or friends or someone in New York who is an investor, it was just who you know. Now it's all over the world. So that's a little bit about financing, from the differences between when you were younger, when you were, you know, the 24-year-old Mr. Austin,
yes,
versus
sir.
the 24-year-old Nathan Peoples. Okay. So another thing about being an entrepreneur now in general is having passion for what you do, or even in the workplace, right? You have to love what you do, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, you're not going to be effective. That's true. So what was it like, what was passion in your day when you were 24? What did passion look like?
My passion was getting me a good job. So when I graduated from Howard, I wanted to get me a good job with a career. And I interviewed with 20 different companies, and American Express offered me that ability to develop my leadership, my marketing skills at that time. So when I joined them, I was 1 year, I traveled all over the world. learning about American Express. So when I got here to Fort Worth 40 years ago, my company was doing about $750,000, and we relocated out to Ridgemar Mall. And with my management skills and my knowledge, we grew to 1.7 million. And it was the greatest job in the world because my boss was in Atlanta. So I paid and managed everything, had 5 employees. So my passion was people and learning about people. And because my parents afforded me, my sister and brother 4 years of college education, I've had a spirit of giving back.
Yes.
Because that leadership that mom and dad put in me to be successful, because my mom, you know, she was there and I was a little mischief kind of guy, so I needed the mom that I had to keep me in the direction, and my wife will tell you for sure, because if I had a different mom, it would have been a lot different, you know, for Jim Austin. So when I made that decision to leave American Express, it was hard. You know, I mean, I was making fair money, but I didn't want to go back to New York. As you're a corporate guy, you got to go with the corporation. When they say it's time to move, you got to go. So, but also my guiding point that if I can make American Express millions, why can't I make Jim Austin millions? So that was the decision to leave that comfortable paycheck, benefits and all that, and hang my shingle out. And I tell you, every day has been just a joy, you know, that I'm an early riser and I get up and I just enjoy the art of commercial real estate.
And that's from his perspective. And that also ties into the millennial perspective as well, because, and I can vouch for a lot of millennials, including myself, is that if you do not feel connected, or if you do not feel that you do not have a purpose in what you're doing, like if you're not in an environment where they will help you grow.
Yeah.
Like I came from an environment where there was no one there to help me grow, where I was by myself. I was making, you know, I was killing it, but I had no one there to actually show me or give me a solid reason why I should stay. So I left,
Right.
including the money.
Yeah.
I left that and the money. A lot of millennials do that. They don't care about the money as long as they're happy and they know that they're in a good place. And that's why I left. I was making some pretty good stuff, but I left. but seriously, but in all honesty, because I can make that back. 'Cause if I love what I'm doing, I can make it back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And that's why I left, you know, what I was doing, and started working with you, because we shared our dream
Yep.
and your dream, and we just connected. There was that sense of purpose and belonging, and that's what the millennials, for the majority of us, long for, is that connection. Can we grow? Are they willing to help us grow? And if we can see that, you have us for life.
You got it. Yeah.
You have us for life, no matter how much money you make us, for the most part. Some people, they might say, no, you got to pay it. Okay? So besides the passion and purpose, you mentioned marketing, right?
Yes.
So how was marketing, or how did you market back then? Because you mentioned flyers,
Yep.
right?
Flyers.
So you have Mr. DFW all over the Metroplex handing out flyers, certificates, more flyers, events, back and forth. You name it, he does it, okay? Word of mouth referral.
Yeah.
And that was hard work back in the day. You went door to door finding business.
Yep.
Walked around the neighborhood, you gave your 30 seconds. 30 minutes is a long time for a speech.
Right.
A 30-second elevator pitch to show who you are, what you can do. Now, for us millennials, it's much different.
Yeah.
Much different, much
yeah.
cheaper. And some of us don't like to get our hands dirty. Okay? So when it comes to marketing, you have social media, which we love. Like you mentioned earlier, we love Facebook Live. Social media is cost effective, it's easy, you can reach. See, you agree, right? Oh, well, hey, well, anyway, I'll take that as a yes. He agrees that, marketing is different, because when he was younger, when he was 24-year-old Mr. Jim Austin, that was just that you only had traditional marketing. Now, the millennials, we're blending it. We're blending traditional, digital, and we're also blending social media marketing. We have that blend, and that's the entire change of the entire marketing scheme and strategy, and that's what makes it so different and effective for us at such a low cost.
Right.
Because I was telling him the other day, I reached 10,000 people with $12.16.
Right.
And that was when I was in residential. And all that business came to me.
Yeah.
People were in Dallas. Who's this guy? I know you from Facebook.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy, but my marketing strategy is
Come on, let's
working.
go.
It's working. So that like these, I would say that they're not going away, but they're going to be in your phone.
Right.
Really soon. We're going to get this in a digital form like we always do. And just keep moving forward with that. But you have social media, word of mouth is always, that will always be the best.
Number one.
Yeah, always number one, no matter who tells you what. Word of mouth, because that's trust. Social media can only go so far. If you have trust, you get the business. That's how it works. That's how it always will work. I've studied it. And then referral marketing. Hey, I think Mr. Austin's off the chain in commercial real estate. You should give him a try. And they do, don't they?
They do.
Every time. Or they say he has a nice hat. You should check him out. and that's it. Seriously, all honesty. And all this comes to having the knowledge to do so.
Yes.
Because when you were younger, how did you gain the knowledge to be an entrepreneur?
Well, it's about mentorship. If you're going to be in business, no matter what you're doing, is that if you see someone that's doing it the way that you want to do, it's all right to go ask, sir, would you be my mentor? When I got in commercial real estate, I looked around and I said, who is the most knowledgeable person in commercial real estate? That was Vic Tinsley. So I went to Vic and I said, Vic, would you be my mentor? He said, well, I don't know what that is, but if you need me to do it, I'll do it. And today, I mean, he's the guy. And it was funny when I would run into Governor George Bush. For some reason, he would always walk and approach me to start speaking. Because, whatever you think about him, he's a good old boy, and he just enjoys being around people of color. And it happened 4 times. And he said, call me. He called me Jimmy. He said, I want to appoint you to something. Well, the day that he said that, Vic Tinsley was standing right there next to him. Boy, did Vic get excited. So the next day he called Roger Williams, who was the point guy in the state, who's congressman now, and I got appointed to the Texas Real Estate Commission. That is the highest level of any position that I could get next to Secretary of HUD to be on the Texas Real Estate Commission. They called 40 of my friends. They said, what kind of guy is Jim Austin? And 10 of them called me and said, hey, the governor's office called and checked you out. Well, nobody ratted me out. Nobody ratted me out. So I became sit on the Texas Real Estate Commission. Longest ever. You're supposed to be there 6 years. I was there for 8 years. And my associate in Fort Worth is Troy Alley. So when I left the commission, Troy Alley sat there. But it's, that was very important to me, is a mentorship when I got in business. And I encourage you, whatever business you're in, get a mentor. And I do that when I talk to young people. And that's how I got Tyrone Smith. I spoke at UTA. And I said, go find you a mentor and find you an internship. When I came off the stage, Big Tyrone was standing right there. And he said, Mr. Austin, can I come work for you? I said, you can. He said, will you be my mentor? And he stayed with me for 2 years. And it's very important that y'all give back, to find somebody to mentorship. This young man standing right here is Turek King. Mr. King came and sat in my lobby for an hour, asked if he could have an appointment with me, and he stayed. Said, Mr. Austin, I got my license. I want to be a commercial real estate broker, agent, broker. So now he's been with me almost a year, and he has a pleasant personality. He still has his 9-to-5 job as a security, but we're trying to get him as a full-time agent. So these 2 gentlemen here are my 2 agents. I have one more as a veteran. So if you're looking to lease something, buy something, or have someone representing you, because it doesn't cost anything to use our services. A lot of time we'll call the rental sign or go in. Don't do that. Call me, Nathan, or Tori, okay, for any commercial questions that we can handle. But mentorship is very important, Nathan.
It is. Like, mentorship is extremely important because as a millennial and with all the technology that's surrounding us, you got about a million different perspectives coming at us all at once where we don't know which one to listen to effectively. And that's why I had to shut that off and say, okay, let me find the best person who knows the local area, who can show me the ropes and how to be the absolute best person I can be so I can step into my greatness. And I had to shut it off because I can listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, I can listen to, Mark Cuban, all these other guys, but that only goes so far. You have to have a tangible person, a live person there with you to guide you, to mentor you, to groom you to be who you're meant to be, which is somebody great. And you have to find that person who can see the greatness in you, like you saw in me and my mentor before, to groom your mentee toward success. That's what it's about, is finding that one person who sees all these great things in you when you don't see it. And all you have to say is, can you help me see it? Because I don't see it, but I want to know what you're talking about. And that's exactly what I said, verbatim, okay? So, of all these different perspectives, find that one person that you just click with, and that'll change your life, just like that. We've only been together, what, 4 months?
4 months.
4 months, my life has changed completely. 180, it's been fun, okay? So, that's the things that find that perfect person that can help you grow. You gotta find the best. And then you talked about partnership. How crucial was it in your day to establish partnerships?
Well, the story is when I got into commercial real estate, I was taking all of my good deals to 3 different investors, and they would buy them, and I would get 3% commission. So I said, wait a minute, if I'm going to stay in this business, I got to figure out a niche to stay in the business. So my friends that had money, doctors, lawyers, businessmen, I started finding the deals, and I started putting together investment partners into commercial real estate. I've done about 25 of them, and if we had more time, I could tell you some of the stories, but knock on wood, all of them were successful. And I'm still in some of them right now, and some of them I've done on my own. But if there's a want, you hear of stock investment groups, and then you hear of real estate investment groups. And I got a call from one of my buddies, Ron Fry, this morning, that in October, there's going to be a group, AKAs are putting together a real estate investment club, and they asked if I would come up and speak. But if any of you are interested and you have some money that you would like to put in, I mean, my first investment group, huh?
What do you call some money? 10 grand more, 5 grand?
Well, my first one, there were 5 of us. We all put in $200 a piece, and we then put in $100 a month until we got $6,000. And then we went out and bought a warehouse for $6,000. You said where? Over in Bonneview. And then we sold it for $60,000 and carried the note. Then we went and we bought a shopping center right over on East Berry. We bought that for I think about $125,000. They wanted $15,000 down. We kept it for about 5 years and ended up selling it for almost $400,000. So it's about leverage. Back in the day with the banks, whatever 10% down, you're good. Right. But since the banks failed in '80, it's more like 20-30%. But the answer to that is probably 10,000 and up. At the point that I am at right now, is that But I will always consult with you and come in and talk to you, or my team can show you an opportunity of something that you can buy. If you're interested in that.
Mm-hmm. So for partnerships back in your day, you had to have cash.
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Well, little.
Yeah, a little, which, it always. And in today's time, and I've done this as a case study, where you can make money, you can make millions of dollars off $10, $20.
Yeah.
Because everything is so online now. I'll give you an example. I did an Instagram case study. Instagram, I don't even like Instagram that much. I was just checking to see if I can make any money on it and bounce out. So I created a page. I was doing so well, people found me. Hey, let's start an engagement group, which is the partnership. It's an online partnership. And we'll send traffic your way, you send traffic our way, so everyone is connected. So when they click on your stuff, you get a commission, and then vice versa, and then we break it down as a nice commission structure, and they analyze everything to make sure that whoever comes through, like if I have a website and you have a website, and they come through me to go to you, I get a little chunk out of that. Not too much, but enough to say, hey, it came from Nathan Peoples
That's it.
to Jim Austin Online. And that costs nothing but time. And that's the difference, is that you can make money with sheer time, maybe 10, 20 bucks. Because I even did a website that was it was a basic website selling shorts. And I was an Amazon affiliate. I already had a website, People's Choice Technology, so I said, let me make a subdomain and call it Shorts, and that was the Instagram thing. And if I sold some stuff, I sold some stuff. And I sold a lot of shorts. And did I have the shorts? No. I had no inventory whatsoever. They were all through Amazon, and if they wanted to buy something else off Amazon, like a $1,000 TV, I got a commission off that $1,000 TV. So it's very different here. However, those can still fade. It's always good to have those local partnerships like you have now, because on the online world, it's a little tricky. Things can get confusing, you can get hacked and all that stuff. But when it comes to partnerships, you're working with local people that, one, you can trust, and two, they can also mentor and guide you as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna bring this to the question and answer portion, so because I know
Sure.
I have a few questions I want to ask, and so I don't want to monopolize too much more of your time. But
Sure.
because I know Jim's like me; we can talk forever.
Yeah.
You've proven that you've got that same. So let's just open it up for questions, because you guys have given us with so much information that the real estate investment club that you started. I mean, that in and of itself, who was the treasurer, or did you just have a joint account, or how did you do?
What you do is, our attorney is Bob Rocket. If you need a good real estate attorney, I got him when I put together the land deal for Walmart, and we just friends for the last 20 plus years. But when you do a limited partnership, you have a general partner, and that partner is pretty much is the flow of everything that goes through. And 9 times out of 10, I was the general partner. So you open up a checking account, and you'd have at least 2 signatures that would sign. But it's an asset. It's real estate. You can go over and touch it and feel it. And then we had different strategies. We had the strategy to buy and hold. We had the strategy to take the income. But there was always an exit strategy. So out of those 25 partnerships, all of them were successful, and only one of them we had problems with the partners, because I recommend no more than 5 partners, because too many opinions creates a problem, and when I met my wife at the time, I asked her to join one of the investment groups, and I think it was $500. And she said, well, if this guy screws up, I'll never marry him. So she got her money back, and we got a paycheck out of that one. So it has to be like people. It has to be people that can put their money in and not put the baby's milk or the dinner. It has to be money that's sitting in a place that you want to take a risk, because it's not guaranteed, because
2008. That's why I asked the question.
yeah, because right now I know value. You can call me and say, hey, I'm thinking about buying this building. Whether I'm representing you or not, I will come over and let you know if there's good value, that it's appreciating, that there's going to be something at the end of the day. Because with real estate, eventually you're going to pay it off. And that income will constantly continue the flow. We're going to open it up for questions right now. Yes, sir.
What is leverage? Like I've heard a lot of terms. I've heard a lot of people define leverage, but how would you guys define leverage?
Leverage is you taking $10, well, let's say you taking $100 and you going to buy something that's worth $1,000. That's leverage. You're leveraging the value, most of the time it's present value, and you're looking at future value. So right now the housing market is crazy. You know, you can't buy any apartments. Warehouses is going crazy. You might be able to buy a shopping center, you know, or some land, but there's always a play of finding somebody that's distressed. But leverage is taking what you have and leveraging it towards buying it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
How would the millennial man tell him how to find what leverage means?
How would I tell him how to find what leverage means?
How would you define leverage?
No. How would you tell him how to find it for himself?
Exercise. Okay.
So tell you how to find leverage for yourself.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Right here.
Ah.
Google.
No.
Google's one. Google's one
I
because
say that
it's like it's.
because I built 2 companies off of a smartphone. And it's really where we need to learn how to teach our youth how to use technology to catch up and get ahead of the game with your gifts. You don't have to wait on anybody's information anymore. Right here.
Thank you.
Yeah, knowledge is everywhere.
Actually, I'll Google about $10 trillion to do what I've done.
And it's good that you bring that up because my tech business started with me watching a YouTube video. I watched about 5 YouTube videos on website development, and my company blew up. And now I got partnerships with Coldwell Banker, with Williams True, with JP and Associates, all from starting from one YouTube video that led on down.
Outstanding.
That's leverage, is your time in today's time.
Yes, ma'am.
So you mentioned a lot about mentorship, and as a business consultant, I won't work with a business who doesn't agree to do an annual mentorship program because I firmly believe in giving back, because it's my belief that God blesses us to get blessings through us. And so if that's not where you are, then being in the same vein and working together, we probably won't fit. And so can you talk about what does a good mentor look like? Because a lot of times, I'll tell my personal story. I've had mentors probably since I was 14 years old. And for the most part, I grew out of all of them in 6 months because I'm a quick learner, I'm moving and shaking all the time. And it just recently, now that I'm 40, I'm to the point where I've had a mentor for the last 2 years that I've stuck with. But a lot of times I think that's because we don't really know what it means to mentor somebody. So can you talk about that?
I'll let Nathan address that.
Okay. So, about finding the right mentor. How do you know if that's the right one? Okay, so I've had several mentors. Star, before you,
Yep.
she was my academic, spiritual mentor. You're my business, take it to the next level mentor. You have different mentors, and that's just how it works. You know? But finding that right person, you have to have a similar vision for one, but they have to see something in you that you don't see themselves. Because if you have 100 people, 100 mentors ready, and that one mentor sees something in you, and you might not see it because that happened to me, because I didn't see it. They chose me. That my mentor was anointed and appointed to teach me what I needed to do. So it's that person that comes and finds you.
And I'm sorry, let me ask that question different. Not from the perspective of the mentee trying to find the mentor,
But
but
the
the
mentor.
business owner being the mentor. Does that make
That's
sense?
for you.
What does that
That's for you.
look like? What does
taking
it
all
mean to be a mentor to someone?
Basically, what it means is someone that's giving, you know, and giving is a very important trait to have, because sometimes you run into people, all they care about is making money. But a mentor is somebody that serves on a board of directors, someone that has a commitment to whether it's their family, but an organization. So that makes a good mentor. And then what they're doing makes difference to you, because I enjoy giving back. And my wife tells me all the time that I'm a giver. And that comes from the basis of how my family raised me and making sure that I was provided with everything that I needed, love, support, and always being there. 4 years of college without having to work was a wonderful gift. And, and the problem was when I got to Howard University, I started doing too much partying. So my mom called me year 4 and said, the money's up, dude. You got to get a job. And I went ahead and changed my major, and I got a job and I got my degree. So I was so fortunate that I got my degree because I was doing a little bit too much partying there at Howard University. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jim, with real estate, when you started, they had real estate investment trusts, I'm sure, versus they have that today. I mean, what are your thoughts on it as far as potentially higher rates of return with lower risk? For example, you can invest, let's say, $10,000, put it into a real estate investment trust, put it into other markets that not have so much of a concentration risk and get more return. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, when he said, what is the rate of investment, that is in a group setting. I'm not telling anybody that for $10,000 they can get into commercial real estate. But if I have 5 people that give me $10,000, that's $50,000. And you can go out and leverage that towards a small shopping center, a business that has some upscale. One of my biggest investments was I got word that JPS Hospital, the administrator says, Jim, the cancer care is moving out of this building. I want to rent it. I ran home and I put me a contract together with the broker, and I was the first one there. And the broker with the Jennings Company protected me. So I had to go out and raise, we bought that building for $1.6 million. There was 8 of us that put in $50,000 apiece. JPS paid us $25,000 a year for 2 years. And then they said, now we want to buy it. So we ended up selling that building for $2.1 million. That was very unique. That was a relationship. So we each, in 3 years, got our $50,000 back plus another $50,000. And then I, as the general partner and the broker, I got my 3% commission buying it, and my 3% commission selling it. So it's all about that key of leverage, of being able to leverage that asset for sure.
So by saying that someone protected you, did they co-sign for you?
No, they.
Real estate types in the room.
It was knowledge of knowing the administrator that he was my friend and said he wanted to rent that building. Okay. So that created me the opportunity, because there were like 3 other backup contracts. I just got there quick, and I have many stories about investing in commercial real estate, from different levels, but it's a good way to take your assets and put it into a fund and get a return on your assets. Yes, sir.
One more question, then let's open it back up for networking, because we're 20 minutes till 8.
Okay.
So I don't know how much time we had on the room.
I mean, we're good, long as we're buying booze and food. We're good. I mean, if you have not been here, this is a beautiful auditorium next door. It seats 1,000 people. We had a first Arlington Blues Festival here this past March. And they have great shows over here. So Kerry Moon, who's the city council from Arlington, is my friend, and he's the owner. And they put millions of dollars here in this facility. So yeah, so please come back. They had the Righteous Brothers here Saturday night. I had something I couldn't get here, but I would have wanted to be here to see them. Yeah, yeah, he doesn't know anything about the Righteous Brothers.
I do not.
So other than Unchained Melody, don't worry about, I don't either.
Other questions?
I got one.
Yes.
To you, Nate. You said something that stuck out. You were talking about catering to your niche. Did you find more success with that going closer to it, or was it finding a happy place where you didn't want to go, too close to it? Because with finding like a niche, it can be hard as far as research is concerned. What was your happy place where you were like, okay, this is not too? Did you ever go past that when you were finding your niche, or was it like, okay, this is the niche that I'm going to market to, I'm going to go from here? Was it
That's
there?
That's what I did. I saw a niche and an opportunity. And I'll tell you the story. I was sitting in the office at Coldwell Banker, and I noticed everyone was asking me, Nate, fix my computer, fix this, fix that, set up my Facebook page, do all these things. And I said, wait a minute. I'm like, how many people in just my office alone do not know how to set up social media in general, yet alone have a website, let alone know how to do their online branding and marketing? Very, very few. And I'm like, if there are this many people in my office, the probability of this being in everyone else's office in real estate is very high. And I analyzed the age gap between realtors, from like the newbies to the ones who are still in, who don't have that. And that's when I found that niche, that they don't have that, but they need that. That's the opportunity, that's the niche, and I jumped on it right away. Does that answer your question?
That's pretty good.
There you go.
And yes, sir.
Curious question. You spoke of $10,000. To enlighten the people, if someone invested in $10,000 with a group of maybe 5, how much would they expect back? I think that would give you more revenue on your behalf and kind of gave them a number.
Well, 9 times out of 10, if you invest with me, I'm going to be part of the action, because I'm not going to have you invest in something that I do not believe in.
Right.
So it depends on our strategy. If we go buy a small shopping center, we leverage, because generally right now the banks want you to have at least 30% into it. So we buy it, and a lot of times there's some upscale and my staff going out and leasing it up so we can get one that's distressed. So that return will be revenue coming in paying the note, taxes, and insurance. And then if there's some left over, we take dividends. But it generally comes in when you sell it. That's when you get a return on your investment. So I would not have you invested in something if I was not going to be a part of it. So what we do is we bring like people to the table. And in this room, 5 of you came up and said, Mr. Austin, we got $10,000, we want to invest. Then we start putting together a coalition. But the great thing about me, I tell you, out of those 25 investments, there's been probably 8 to 12 people that have come back over and over again, and they've gotten good return on their investment.
Can I put a tag on that?
Yes, sir.
Television has taught everyone how to flip everything, right? And that's the only strategy people seem to really understand. You've actually talked a couple times about purchasing and holding it, or strategy I forget how you initially worded it, but
Yes.
to buy and hold.
Yes.
And then you talked about the dividend. So if someone invested with you, 2-part question. 1, what would I get from you to show that I have a stake in this? What do you give to the investors other than a receipt? And then also explain a little bit more about buying and holding a property. So would that property be in the name of the group, or would it be in your name as the broker.
Right. No. What it would be would be a name that we came up. My first investment group was the Ascension Group.
Okay.
Ascension, moving forward. So that was our first investment group. So there's an entity. We get a lawyer. They go down and file a document for a limited partnership. So if there's 5 of us in it and everybody puts in $10,000, everybody owns 20% of that partnership. And so depending on the structure, everybody's got to be in agreement. So a lot of times you make sure there's an odd number. So if there's 3 of us that says we want to sell and 2 don't, we're selling.
Right.
You know, so it has to be that ability, because if you have 4 people, you know, it could cause some problems. One of our deals, we bought 34 acres off of 820 in Wilbarger. And we're just sitting there, and it was 4 of us in it. So that was when the gas rights came out. We sold too early. We sold too early. We sold $800 an acre. Instead of waiting, it eventually got up to $30,000 an acre. Yeah, when gas was at its peak, people were getting $30,000. That was $1 million, you know, and we had only paid like $250,000 for that acreage. We ended up holding on it, got our gas rights, and then we sold it to an investor from Atlanta. You know, we sold 26 acres. We kept 8, and they paid us, I think, almost $600,000 for that to build condominiums, tax credit. So yeah, it's just the right time to sell. So when you invest in real estate, it needs to be money that's going to stay there for 3 to 5 years, unless something big comes out of
So
it.
literally, y'all put 30% in. I mean, well,
30%.
30% basically in.
Yeah.
And you pay them. Okay.
And you pay your taxes,
You
insurance.
didn't pay it off at 250.
No, you never pay it off. This is a point. Most people say they want to pay cash. And when we deal with some markets, you know, the Hispanics, they don't like notes. They want to just pay it off and be done with it. But the leverage is the play in commercial real estate. You never want to go and take all of your money and put it in there. You always want to leverage it. That's the key to commercial real estate. Yes, ma'am.
What's the difference between marketing and advertising?
I'll let the millennial. What's the difference? What's the difference between marketing and advertising?
Oh gosh, marketing goes so far. Like marketing's huge. You got passive marketing, active marketing. Advertising, you're just advertising. Passive marketing, I'll give you a real estate example, because I had to get a listing because of this. I had to prove to her, my first deal, why I'm an active marketer versus her current agent, which was a passive marketer. Passive, you let it sit. Active, you're going out there, hey, you want to buy this house, you want to buy this house, you put it on everything. Like what we do, you find the business. Marketing, it's like a 2-piece thing. For advertising, this is advertising. This is marketing. There you go.
That's a good example.
There you go.
Action. Yep, action. Marketing. You know, just coming up with all kinds of ideas. Just be thinking, you know, there's an event going on and it has people that will buy tickets to your event. You're there, either hiring a road team or you're out there yourself passing those flyers out. I'm a big believer in flyers, you know, and sometimes we have cases of flyers laying around after the event. So that's why you'll see this little flyer, you know, it says Family Fun Day, July the 15th and October the 14th. Well, we took them and we stapled them together because this event is over.
Right.
So, you know, we had all these flyers left. So with Nathan in the picture, we're doing more electronic social media, you know, and we're good. This gentleman that's back there been videographer. He's a marketeer. He has his videography, but he's been very engaged. He has a nonprofit, the Gentleman's Society, where he takes young men and he mentors to them to make them better citizens. So I'm so glad you're here, Dwayne, and you know, if you ever get a chance to hear him, Faces the band, he's awesome. Yes, sir.
Something about add to that, marketing and advertising. Advertising is actually a
Why don't you stand up so everybody can hear you?
Advertising is a
Subset of marketing.
subset of marketing. Marketing incorporates the whole brand, and incorporates, you have your ideal target market, and knowing how you're gonna solve your particular problem with your product or service. So it's a big picture. Advertising is a subset of marketing. So it's one thing that you're doing, but marketing is the whole big picture, your whole brand, your whole vision, your ideal target market, and I have my product, and I gotta be able to match my product to solve their problem. I also choose the right medium and message in order to do that. So it incorporates a whole lot of aspects of it than just advertising.
This is a marketing point right here. Pull out your iPhones or your phones right now. And this is a direct marketing to you. Jim Austin Online is someone told me the other day, is almost a ministry, or it's a chamber of commerce. We push information out to let you know where to go, what's going on. If you pull out your phone and you go to your app store, and you go and, no. I told Nathan to call me, you know, no. Go to your app store and download Jim Austin Online. It's a way for you to keep in contact with me and know what's going on in the network. I'd say most of you look like you love jazz. We have a 24-hour jazz station that tunes up. Nathan has a radio show that he interviews entrepreneurs, and just downloading my app will allow you to receive my newsletter. It'll keep you up to date on what's going on. Charles and I share information. He's a machine, you know, and he just amazes me in how he connects people. So I hope all of you learned something today. You know, I think we did a good job, Nathan.
You guys did an awesome job.
Yeah. What do you all think?
So it's a network, it's a state of mind, and we hope to engage any of you. If you'd love to learn about real estate, I'll come talk to you. If you want to buy or lease real estate, these guys are the future of the Austin Company commercial real estate. If you want to network and socialize, be a part of Jim Austin Online, download that app so that you can listen to